What's up, Go? Good morning, buddy. Blah. Horrible market open today. Yesterday's sell-off was brutal. Horrible market open today. The Bears just got too much. So follow-through day done at this stage of the game. And back into correction, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it moving lower, apparently. No, there will be no chop. There will be no chop. So we'll stop at some point, but I don't know when. I don't know when. We had a follow-through day. That failed immediately, and now we're right back at lows. No real bounces in between. No bounces here. Amazon looks like garbage. Apple looks like garbage. You see Apple just tumbling today down at 178. We've actually... So it's already just above its longer-term trend line here. Can it stop on a dime in reverse? Yes. Is it likely? I don't know. Sometimes when the market feels the worst is when it stops. But today doesn't feel like one of those days. Today feels like one of those days where market feels bad and it continues to feel really bad. So yesterday was just a slow bleed lower pretty much all day long. Just bled. Some hope in the afternoon, but no major buying candles. A couple of, there's a good one there. There's maybe a good one there, but that was a topping candle. And then on the overnight session, just more relentless selling all the way back down, and it looks like it's continuing. Look at the futures volume here versus the futures volume in the previous sessions. Volume is already crazy. Now, could we rocket out of the gate? I guess, but could this be one of those gap and go scenarios? And it could be, but it's hard to see what the impetus is for that scenario. Usually tariff news or something would try to lead us higher. At this stage of the game, though, it looks like it's running for another sell-off. See the high volume coming in on the sell candle right there. No major bounces. You had a little bounce right there, and at the time was decent volume. But that started the elevated volume. That's probably when some of the guys in the U.S. got to work, and then rolled it right over. So you don't see me analyzing overnight charts too much, but when you have very elevated volume there, just starting to accelerate on the way down, usually not a good sign. The end of the day here, no real bounces. Now again, this is the futures market, and I'm on the 15-minute chart. So these two, this candle was after hours to the regular market session, right there. So a little bit of a bounce, but volume was feeble. Nothing was really going on. So into the close, they bought it up some, and then bounced a little bit higher, but then immediately stopped. You saw no continuation. Usually, if you're going to get continuation to the upside on the overnight session, they'll sometimes gap you completely out of your position, is what they'll do. So if they wanted to swing it long, you would open here, because the retail investors have no time to fill that. They're stuck in the longs down here, fueling a spike up in the morning, further exaggerating the gains that the market makers would have taken at the close. Similar to here. This one didn't have a huge gap up, but see the situation there where it kind of rockets high. This spiked lower for a minute, if you remember. I don't believe this was sold yesterday at Best Buy before earnings. Well, that's usually a good thing, and we can take a look at Best Buy. Looks like it's down. You sold at 65. Okay, good. You're down here at 60, so saved about 6% so far. Excuse me. So it's about 61 right now. So yeah, selling at 65 yesterday was a great idea. Selling in this trend line would have been a better one. But yeah, definitely before earnings was a good move. They basically, yeah, Tesla couldn't even sustain, and even overnight, on the overnight session, we looked at it a minute ago. It was down. So Tesla right now at 342. So not falling apart, but definitely lower, down about right. Right about there. It's right about where Tesla's opening today. Yesterday was a topping candle, higher volume, closed at the lows. Did hit the top of this rising pattern. These usually break to the downside. We talked about yesterday for long-term bags, Tesla's probably fine, but for shorter, intermediate-term bags, Tesla's going to be choppy just due to the market situation. Yeah, I don't know of anything that's going to look good on the overnight session at all, to be quite honest with you. This is one of those days that's going to make or break this market today. I mean, it's already half broken. It's not going to take much to actually fully break it. The uptrend is already done. So now we're back into market and correction. The question is, will it reverse on us today? And even if it does, we're still looking for another follow-through day. You got Pure Storage up 5%, which is a defensive name. Children's, Kohl's, Target, Square down 10%. Let's look at all these drop. Children's Place down 12, Kohl's, Target, Square, all the big names. AMD down 10%. Mattel. Let's look at what's gapping up today. 3 times short something ETF DWT. I'm not sure what that is. Daily S&P something or other. I'm assuming that's a short because it's up 7%. I don't know what those are. Pure Storage, there's a storage play which would be defensive. So, yeah, this is showing, maybe no correction, maybe bear market. Try to stay optimistic, try to stay a little bullish, but today may be the day that breaks the camel's back, and down we go. Do we get the measured move here? I don't know. I'm not sure if I want to hang out in my position to find out, though, to be honest with you. I thought about liquidating yesterday. I did not, so I still have that position. I may end up liquidating that. And sometimes when I do things like that, the market reverses on me immediately. So I may reduce by about half my position. So I'll still stay there, but I won't be fully invested. I still do have quite a bit of cash, but more cash here is warranted at this stage of the game. So every other market correction that we've seen with these high volume candles, this is not working out in that fashion. But we are moving lower, and we did see this going through that as we could see lower prices. I was fully comfortable holding as we undercut here into this level, actually added down here. I don't want to get too much underwater though, especially in the TQs. This is a new position for the triple Qs where it looks like it's going to continue much lower. Reason being is because what do you mean, Bleh? 401 or Roth videos? Those are just vehicles. There's nothing specific about those. I do not. If you want me to cover a specific topic, I can maybe do a topical video like that if you have a specific question you're looking to answer. Eli says SQQQ. Yeah, right. Yeah, so the SQs here, I think yesterday, probably about midday, would have been a good entry for the SQs. I didn't even take it. I thought about it, but I didn't even take it. but that would have been a good day. I mean, yesterday was all around not a good day. Even Tesla succumbed to the selling. A full outside bar, overcutting the highs and undercutting the lows here. So let's do this. Got a few minutes before market opens. So here's the thing. Let's go weekly long term. Let's do this. Let's remove all the drawings from this. Okay, you know what I can do? Let me do this. Let me detach this chart. And let me go like this. We'll do something like this. Okay, so we'll do we'll keep current market action up here just for this year on the weekly, and in this we'll do a deeper dive and see if there's precedence for what we're seeing here. So we have, make sure my studies are correct, 10 and 40. Okay, so the 10-week blue line is akin to the 50-day. It's not exact, but it's close, and the 40 is akin to the 200-day. And we're about to hit that bear cross right there. We talked about that yesterday too, about the bear cross. So here's the 2015 correction. Pretty much no peak closes on any week here. Here we have a peak close, close to a peak close, and then we end up coming back up pretty much the week following the cross here, which this should happen at the close of the week. The death cross, at least on the weekly chart. Now that's not, it's just an interesting note that doesn't mean that we're actually dying. Now this is an index too, so all right, let's look at the previous correction. This is 2012. No major correction right there. All right, Blake, gotcha. All right, so here we chopped around, then we ended up crossing the 50 down through the 200-day, which was pretty flat. 200-day is flat right now as well. Yeah. I'm really struggling to see what these guys think is that bad about the economy to have us down in this type of a fashion. So even here, a peak close to the upside on this bottom week. It doesn't feel like we're going to get that this week. It's only, what, Tuesday? Yeah, it's only Tuesday. It already looks like a crappy week. Let's keep going. We're going to get into 2000. So this is 2008. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go 2008, but maybe we go part of 2008. We don't go full 2008, 2009, but maybe we go half. So even here at a peak close here, towards a peak close there. This is like well under half. This is about 75% of the way through on this particular bar. And we're still seeing volumes dwindle off a little bit. I mean, it looks akin more to this than it does to any of these other corrections. But in this, the 200-day was already downward sloping. That's really what held it down. Yeah, Blad, that wouldn't... Well, what do you mean slowed extremely? I mean, I live in Phoenix. Our housing prices have stabilized a little bit here. So kind of stem the rising prices a little bit doesn't mean that a housing crash is coming necessarily. I think there's still more inflation in the housing market over the next 5 to 10 years. Not as aggressive as the past 10 years, but still there. Let me get to the 2001. So it's looking more like these really big bear markets than it is the shorter time pop corrections. Oh, that's true. Muted? Hello? No, I shouldn't be muted. Anyone else, am I muted? My meter's showing I'm okay. Well, regardless, I don't see a great parallel. Yeah, I don't really see a great parallel here. So back in 2015-16, we got about 13% below the 200-day moving average. We could do something like that. Market open, now down about 2.7%. If we kind of reached these levels here, that would take us down much lower. I can imagine those days look pretty scary. So this is an H pattern here, guys, and this H pattern does appear to have broken. Need to see what happens with yeah, it's today could be. I hate throwing words out like, black this, black that, but when you get these continuation days, these could be pretty brutal because everyone's anticipating a sell-off, and if it actually happens, then people get panicked and really, really start selling. Sometimes you get these days, like, look, remember this day where it stopped dead close at the bottom and reversed? Remember that? Now, keep in mind this is futures too, so let's go. I guess I don't have is the 15-minute. I don't think I can go much further back than this. Oh, okay, I get 15 minutes. Okay, so All right, so here we had trying to find that day where it. Yeah, so here's a pretty egregious. So we sold off big. This is where at the end of the day it came rip roaring back. Yeah, there we go. So we closed here on the futures. Actually ended up pretty flat. That's the wrong day. I guarantee that's the wrong day. Should have noted the date. 10-11. Bouncing off the out of the gate so far. We'll see if it keeps going. I hope so. Oh, here we go. 10-11. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So we had a huge down day here. You see the overnight session. So overnight opened here, which looks like it opened in line, dropped lower, and then came back and then opened right there, which was in line with the previous day, but the futures show differently, and then it kind of whipsaws around, then closes open. So that's the difference here. Well, it's not much of a difference, but we didn't have this pullback off of the lows. We didn't rise back up off of the lows. Actually, I'll stay here for now. We dropped lower. So maybe in that overnight session where it bounced, maybe that's what we get here. That's the best we can hope for. But there's going to be plenty of levels of resistance if this maintains. You got to keep in mind there's probably a lot of people selling their butts off at the open here. All right, so back to my main chart. You know what's funny? Yesterday, Eli Lilly actually had a really good day. What's it doing today? Look at Eli Lilly, guys. Had a big green day yesterday. Just amazing. Yeah, just amazing. Held up really well yesterday. In the past 3 days, actually rip-roaring its own little mini uptrend. So you can see that the volume is a little elevated. See the yellow line, which is your average volume, getting elevated. Also, guys, I may have to shift this to market close. Now that the time zone shifted, I do some things with my kids in the morning, and my oldest son Ethan, we're doing some things in the exercises. You're supposed to do them in the morning and at night, but I haven't been able to do them in the morning, so I may end up we may have to move this into the closing part of the day in terms of the power hour. All right, rolling back over a little bit. SQ 2.2. It's like we're stalling here so far. Let's go back to that. Should be on the daily, not the weekly. More viewers, yeah, maybe more viewers too. Yeah, it's more for my son than it is for viewership. All right, so far we're coming back off the lows. Let's see if we maintain that SQQQ trade. I'm sure it's pretty crowded up here, but I don't know, we'll see if this is just a shakeout, or we'll see if this is an actual move to the upside. Looking at my screen here, we got. So I'll keep my cursor where 0 was just at, and then we'll see how it behaves right there. But yeah, so I mean, when you think macroeconomically, what's the impetus for such a major sell-off? There's really no macro factor. I guess when you think about it, in 2000 there was no macroeconomic factor too. It just it was just really over. The market got really overinflated, and the sell-off ensued. Speaking of sell-offs ensuing, have you seen Bitcoin lately? Oh man. Sell-off ensued overnight last night after that. Out of 4,800 down to 42. What was our target for that measured move, guys? 46. Well overtook that. Volume still remains elevated. Pretty dope. ETH at 133. 121. Wow. Look at that. I didn't see that. I don't know. Crypto seems fun when it's dropping. Stocks just seem to depress me when they drop. Yeah, bless us. Could we be in a bubble? Yeah, I think it's a mini bubble. I don't think it's a bubble like 2001. I mean, there's valuations behind Amazon, Netflix, Facebook. There was no valuations behind anything. Just like in crypto, there's no valuations behind anything. But I think I think there's still potential there. I mean, I think the bigger impetus is probably the Fed. Some more standard reasons for institutions to be cautious would be the Federal Reserve, global economic slowdowns, things of that nature. Overinflated equities, usually not a major concern of institutions. However, we have been pretty inflated. Like look, you look at Amazon, pretty obvious it's inflated. But taking it on the chin here, could be pretty healthy. But the problem is, since the Great Recession, basically 10 years ago, we haven't really had a major sell-off in the markets. I don't know if this is the most major sell-off we've had. It doesn't look like it. I think we've had deeper sell-offs. But, I don't know if, like in 2015, I'm trying to recall what the impetus was for the sell-off in 2015. Yeah, no other major impetus. Just, I mean, economy was still getting better in 2015. I don't remember what that was. Yeah, I just don't remember what that was. All right, now down 1.8%, so giving back quite a bit of those losses. Is a sell-off healthy in short spurts or medium to longer term? Um, well, sell-offs are good because they reset charts. That's that's why they're healthy. They reset charts. They give everything a chance to cool off before a continued move. Um, so it's healthy in terms of the time frame. That's oh, no, you're okay. Hold on a second. Alright guys, I'm back. Had to say goodbye to the fam. Alright, so it looks like we haven't really increased that much. Moved up a little bit, not too much. Amazon looks like it's headed higher after its huge gap. See what Apple did. Apple gapped to that lower trend line. Looks like it's bouncing at this stage of the game. But see, here's the thing about these sell-offs like this is that you get these waterfall effects like this. Very rarely do they just stop. You know, maybe we've exhausted our downside move and we consolidate for another downside move. We'll have to see how the day plays itself out. If this day ends up going green, I mean, obviously that would be spectacular. It could if we get some more momentum here in the next hour, I would say. Usually when these days go green, they go green relatively quickly. At least they start pointing in that direction. Here we reversed off of the opening low, but we're not really moving to the upside with any kind of haste, any speed. You know, the only caveat I can say about yesterday's sell-off is that the volume was not substantial. It was not super substantial. It was heavy volume, don't get it wrong, but it wasn't super substantial volume. It wasn't like we were, elevated. This green day here, right here, still had more volume in it, which is pretty much the only thing positive I can say about yesterday, is that it didn't appear that we had a tremendous amount of volume behind it. Still trying to be patient in my positions. It goes against my trading instincts, which is very difficult to do, but when it comes to stocks, I've gotten pretty used to just being patient. And yesterday it wasn't feeling like that patience was paying off. Still doesn't quite feel like it. Now down 1.75, so still reversing a little bit better. We'll have to see. How this goes. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about the mini rally here. There doesn't appear to be that many stocks running on my list. I tend to have a stock list of not all the leaders, but of many leaders and from many different eras of investing. So if something pops up from 3 sectors ago, a leader or 3 cycles ago, I'll usually get alerted to it in some way, shape, or form based on my watch list here. So, yeah, we'll have to see how the day plays out. Don't have any major advice right now. Maybe pepper in another small buy just because you're scared out of your mind. But so far that doesn't appear to have worked in our favor. Not quite yet. All of our consolidations, I will say this, all of our consolidations so far have been rising channels, rising trends, whatever you want to call them. And as we just, I'm not sure if you guys know or not, this one's a little different, but rising channels get broken to the downside. And then we got 2% down now. So is that our top for the day? Yeah, only 15 minutes in. Yeah, I don't think there's any stocks to buy here. And we're rolling over right there. All right, a little bit of see that volatility drop right there. You can see the seller just boom, 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 drop it down. See it rise up. Now see if it drops back down. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see if it does that. Oh, see, there you go. Watch it just drop. A little bit of support. Yeah, so in terms of ELADs coming, I guess we don't see anything to buy. I guess we collect cash. That kind of goes in line with I don't see any green on my screen here. I mean, I see a very few names up minor percentages. You got TZA, which is a 3 times Russell ETF, up 4%. Um, Other than that, no major names here. No major names up here at all. In fact, I'll bet you there's probably quite a few major names like Solos down here. Another 10%. That's funny. MMNFF down 16% today. So that 5-minute candle closed. On to the next one. Yeah, still moving lower here. So no major breadth in terms of this market and this little mini move on the upside. Of course, we were very oversold on many names in the overnight session. That kind of makes sense. Look at Amazon. The daily candle looks healthier, but we're still obviously gapped down a tremendous amount right there. I'm not quite sure why that is, but now we're starting to... Whoops. Darn it. There we go. All right, now we're undercutting. Now we're starting to go back down again. So we'll see if this is chop around down here. So here's the thing: you're not going to see much green. It looks like we're gonna. Oh, there you go. Look at that selling. Yeah, not looking good here. Trader in me wants to get out, but the longer-term investor in me is trying to be patient. Maybe I should split the difference like I was doing earlier and just sell partial position. SQ coming back up. Amazon, their Apple. Yeah, yesterday was a good day to sell off a bunch of stocks, Justin. $2.46% already. Most of your index funds in the game. Yeah, I'm not super mad at index funds. Not super mad at index funds. It's going to be a little painful, but hopefully the pain is only temporary. The way this is going, the longer this continues, the longer the correction is going to take. And at this stage of the game, if we keep staying down like this and then get a little more down, we're going to end up lower. Yeah, Bitcoin. So I should have put my video out yesterday. Found a little bit of support here, but I was saying yesterday, it looks like this thing needs a washout move to finally stop it because it was just increasing the selling volume. And we got a little bit of a washout there, but it's not enough. The bounce will be impetus for more downside move. I'm sure right there. So 2.6% now. Yep, still continuing that sell-off. That bounce with no breadth looks like it... oh, there you go. You can see how a few more stocks came off of the green list by the end of the day here. It may just be TZA up here. We've seen that once or twice before. It's rare, but it does happen when TZA is the only thing green on the list. And it doesn't feel very good. Okay, and here we go, guys. Here we go. If we don't get supported at this low here, it's going to be difficult. We need to be supported right there. Doesn't look like it's going to do it, though. No, a little bit of support. Instagram and Facebook outage? That's funny. Let's look at Facebook. And we did get some support there. Look at that. Look at that. Some support. Hold on a second, guys. My kid's crying in the other room. Ah, the joys of parenting. All right, guys. Well, I think I'm going to bounce out of here. Sorry to keep you holding like that. We did get supported here. We poked underneath a little bit, probably triggering a couple of sells. And look at that. There's some fairly aggressive buying right there. So here's, yeah, we get these signs of life. So far, none of them have actually turned the market around or really changed direction. Pretty much every pop was a selling opportunity, and every major drop was a covering opportunity if you shorted. I mean, not advocating shorting all these pops, but get these big volume pops have been the lows. We don't have a big volume pop yet. Maybe we'll get it today, and maybe we'll get a reversal tomorrow. That's, I think, the best case scenario that we have. But we're not I mean, these are minor bounces that we have. They look big on a 15-minute chart, 5-minute chart, but on the daily here, still living at that low. On the NQ, SQ is still looking pretty elevated. Facebook, Amazon, these guys are having, gap and go days, which is, ideal. Actually, if you look, last time we had kind of here's a mini gap, and then we had a gap to the upside the following day. I think that's probably our best case scenario here. Maybe a double bottom base for Amazon is our best case scenario, which would put a buy point well up there. If you guys want to, we're interested in trading that, maybe take exploratory positions. But market is very scary right now. But again, what's the impetus for such an aggressive move? Sometimes you don't get a no. You just have to go with the price action. Now down about 16% overall in the markets. So, but yeah, we'll see how this plays out throughout the rest of the day. A close lower obviously is bad. If we maintain down here, I don't know, man. There's like one bullish scenario and like 3 bearish scenarios at this stage in the game, undercutting this low. So it's going to be tough going forward. Again, not quite sure what's going to pull us out, and even when that's going to happen. Maybe we sell off into the end of the year. Maybe we end up going lower here to our bear market territory, and then we end up bouncing up at some point in time. But these markets can resolve themselves. The average correction lasts 9 months. That is a statistic going back a very, very long time. We've not had a 9-month correction, I think, since 2015, and maybe we're in the middle of one right now. So, all right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll jump in this afternoon. We'll kind of see how it goes. My day's been in shambles lately, so we'll see what happens, guys. All right, thanks for joining me. See you guys later.